All right, I've got another interesting looking Sudoku here that I'm excited to try out. This is by Memerister, and some of you will be familiar with his channel where he solves lots of Sudokus. He's done some of mine before. And I think I even did an interview once on the channel a while back. Link to the channel there. You can go check it out. But this puzzle is called Globular Clustering. Globular. I'm not even sure how you pronounce that, but there you go. And it's pretty simple rules. Well, relatively simple. There is a tricky one. So we've got normal Sudoku rules, so we're going to put the digits 1 to 9 in each row and column and 3x3 box. And then we've got normal quadruples, so the circles in the grid, like this 4 here and the 2, 4, 6 there and the 5 there. The digits in the circle appear at least once each in the 4 surrounding cells. So somewhere in these 4 cells, there has to be at least 1, 5. In these 4 cells, there has to be at least 1, 1. In these 4 cells, there will have to be at least 1, 2, 1, 4, and 1, 6. There could be more than 1, right? Well, not there. But like the 5 here, you could have 2 5s diagonally or something. But there has to be at least 1. The other rule, which is interesting to me because I recently made a puzzle with this same rule, is no adjacent run of 3 cells may be all odd or all even, horizontally or vertically. So you couldn't do 1, 3, 5, right? Or 2, 4, 6. You couldn't do 3, 9, 7. It doesn't matter the order. You can't have 3 odds or 3 evens in a row, vertically or horizontally. And I recently did a puzzle called 2 to Tango with that same rule, kind of inspired by the game Tango from LinkedIn, that if you're a watcher of my channel, you'll be familiar with Tango. And I'll leave a link to that puzzle as well, and a link to Mark from Cracking the Cryptic solving that puzzle. But lots of links in the description. The final link that's going to be there is to this puzzle. So if you want to go solve this puzzle, check out that link. It'll be the first link that shows up. The rest of them will be farther down. And I'm going to reset the timer and give it a try, and we'll see how it goes. So, there's a 4 here and a 4 here. There's a 4 in here. 5, 1. What I'm looking for, 4 and 4. So there's a 4 in these and a 4 in these. So we know there can't be a 4 anywhere else down here. So, like, in here, it has to be in one of these 3, but that's not super helpful. We also have the same kind of thing going on here, where you can't have 4. So the 4 can't be in either of these. So the 4 is in one of those 2. I guess that's something. That's a place to start. It doesn't give us much. The 5s are interesting down here, because we know we have to have 2 of them. So they're diagonally, and if they're here, then that pushes that 5 up there. Do we care? I don't know if we do. We know there's 3 evens down here. Okay, so one thing that I learned while setting the puzzle, my puzzle, 2 to Tango, is something that I noticed is, so we have 4 evens and 5 odds, right? So the evens are more limited than the odds because there's not as many of them, basically. One thing that you have to have, and it may seem obvious, but I had to kind of discover this, is you obviously can't have 3 of the same. So these can't all 3 be orange, which we're going to say is odd. These can't all 3 be odd, obviously. So one of those has to be even, which I'm going to do purple. So it could be that one, it could be this one, it could be this one. We don't really know. One of them has to be even. But that's true for all 3 of these sets of 3 within a box. It's also true for the 3 sets of 3 vertically within a box. So what that means is you have to have at least 1 even in every column and every row within every box, if that makes sense. So the fact that there's 3 evens down here, we don't know which ones they are, right? Let's just say it's these 3 for right now. Doesn't matter. The point is there's 4 evens in the box. 3 of them are down here. We have to have at least 1 even in the row and at least 1 even in the column. Therefore, our 4th even has to be right there. Now, we don't know where the other 3 are, but that one has to be an even, and these will have to be odd. So that gives us a place to start. Now, this is even, which means it's not 5, so these are both the 5s, which means they're odd. Okay, now, from there, we know there's a 1 and a 3 in here, which is odd, but we don't know. And well, they can't be here. These can't both be odd because you'd have 3 in a row, which means this is one of them, right? That's one of them. The other one could be in either of these spots, but we can't have both of those. Therefore, that has to be odd. So we've got 4 odds already. Now, similarly to the evens, we have to have at least one even in every, set of 3, right? We also have to have at least one odd. And we've already got 4 odds, so the other one has to be up here. So this is going to be even. And then... same thing down here. So we've got 2 odds. They can't both be there, so this has to be one of them. Okay, and again, we've got 4 odds. One of them has to be here, so this is going to be even. And then what do we do from there? So we know these are even. Same kind of deal. 3 evens here, just like we had 3 evens there. We have 3 evens here. This one has to be the 4th even. And then these are all going to be odd. And now we've got 2 in a row, so we've got to make these even. So stop from getting 3. So those are even, and then this is less helpful, this one, because it's not within the same box. But, that's not as good, I don't think. Not sure. But, well, so we got the odds in here, so we can't put both of them there. But since we haven't ruled out... We also can't put both of them here, which is interesting. Because 3 of these 4 have to be even. So the 2 odds, the 1 and the 3, can't both be there. They can't both be there. But they could be diagonally here. So we can't say for sure that one of them is right there. We know they can't... Well, they can't both be here because of this orange. They can't both be here because of that. They could be diagonally, or else in a shape like this. And so we can't even say for sure that this one is one, because they could be both of these, right? I think so. So that's not as helpful. We know there's another odd in here and here. So, okay, one of these 2 is an odd. This one can't because we got the 2 odds there. Oh, of course. This is even. Look at that. We've got the double odds there, the double odds here, so we can put the evens in. There we go. That's what we needed to do. So this then has to be odd. It's the 1, 3. This is odd, and it's the 7, 9. Now we've got the doubles that make this even. And the double odd here, so this is even. Double odd here makes this even. Now we've got 1, 2, 3. One of the other evens is up here and down here. Those are an even and an odd, I guess. We could mark that. I don't know if that's going to be helpful or not. We've got 4 of the odds here. There's one more. But I feel like it could be anywhere at this point, because you could do 2 evens here. You could do 2 evens here. You could do the evens diagonally, and that would be okay. I don't see why that wouldn't work. Okay, there's one more even and 2 more odds in here. But wherever you put the even, you're gonna be fine. If we put an even there, this would have to be odd, but that's okay. And down here, we've got one more odd, but anywhere you put that, you're going to be fine. So that's not really an issue. We've got 2 evens up here. Well, and 1 odd. So you can't put the odd at the top because you'd end up with 3 evens in a row. So this one has to be even. And then these 2 are one of each. I don't know if that's helpful, but I'm going to mark it. And we know there's an odd in here. So we could have 2 evens here, but we don't necessarily need to. We can have the same thing down here, though. We've got the 2 evens. If this is odd, the other 2 evens will go there, and you have 3 in a row. So this one has to be even. And these are one of each. I don't think I want to mark the one of each. I think that's just cluttering the grid. I don't think I want to do that. We might come back to that, but it feels like the 1, 3 is interesting in here. Ah, we can't do this. Look. Okay, so, we said we can't put the 1 and the 3 here for this quad, right? Because then it causes trouble with this other quad. So we can't put both of them there. We can't do both of them here because you'd have 3 odds in a row. We also can't put both of them here because there'd be nothing to put in this cell since it's also a 1, 3. Very nice, very nice. So we can't do there. We can't do there. So we can't do there. But we could still do these two or diagonally. I don't think there's any way to not have a 1 or a 3 in here. Because if you don't have a 1 or a 3 in there, can we do diagonally this way? Oh, maybe we can do it that way. Shoot. I think we can. We can do that. We can do diagonally. We can do diagonally. We can still do it here, can't we? I thought it had to be here or there, and I was going to be able to put one right there, but... well, since it can't be down here, one of them has to be at the top, which means these two are both even because one of these two is going to be a 1 or a 3. So those two both have to be even, which means we have odds on either side. That's what we needed to see. Very nice. Okay, so, and these are from, well, 2, 2, 4, 6. I mean, I guess I'll put that in. And they're even, so it just means they're not 8, basically. So one of these and one of these is going to be, and both of these, so they have to, but they don't have to be diagonal. They could be these two, are the 1 and the 3. Because you could have, you can't have 3, could you do 3 odds like this? Yeah, you could do 3 odds that way. That would work. This digit is in both of the quads, so these two are the same as those two, but I don't know. Which is kind of interesting, because this one is on here, which is also down here. That's kind of interesting. I mean, so that's 2, 4, 6. It's not... It'll be more helpful once we know what digit that is. Okay, so... Well... Where do we go next? Okay, is there another set of 2 in a row that I'm not seeing? This is odd. These are even. Well, 2 of these are even. 5. Oh, 5 is interesting. Look at 5. So 5 in the middle box can't be in any of these because of these 5s. So it's in one of these 3. But it could be over here and up there. It doesn't have to be right here. We could even have it down here and you could put one up there. But wherever the odd goes, that is the final 5. Or that's the final odd in this box, is the 5. Okay, so what do I need to see next? Something I need to see. Well, we know these aren't 4s. These aren't 4s. These are 2, 6, 8. Is that helpful? I don't think it is. I feel like it's somewhere in the middle here is what we need to see. Because the 1 and the 9, these just don't help enough, you know? At this point, they're not telling us much. There's an odd somewhere in this box of 4. Like, well, sure. Who cares, right? The 1 and the 3, there's 2 more odds in here. Could they be there? Do they have to be diagonal? I don't see why they couldn't be right there. We know they can't be there, there, or there. But I don't think we can say that they have to be diagonal at this point. Okay, we've got 3 evens here. There's one more even up here. If we put it there, we have to put odds on either side. That seems okay. If we put it there, that's an odd, and I don't know, who cares? There's one of each here. Ha! Here's where to look. Look, we've got 3 evens here. We have to have an even in this set of 3. That is the 4 evens. This is odd, which means the 4 is down here. This is not 4. This is 4. We've got another digit. Okay. Very nice. So one of these is even and 2 of them are odd. If this is even, those 2 are odd, and these 3 would all be odd. The 4th one would have to, no, there's 5, so the 4th, yeah, it's 4. This is even. One of these 2 is even. One of these 3 is even. So if this were odd, that would give you evens here, 1 here and 1 over here. And there'd be 1 in this 2 by 2 up here, but it's okay. It would have to be, if this one was here, it would have to be there. If this one was here, it would have to be there. Otherwise, if it's here, then you're going to have 2 evens in that box in the corner, but I don't know that I care. Okay. Well, we can't do this quite the same trick here because we had 2 evens there. We know one of these is an even. If this is even, then you're going to have 2 in a row for sure. Oh, well, these 2 can't be both even. Look, we need 2 more evens in these 3. It can't be these 2 because of that. You'd have 3 in a row. So this has to be even. And this is one of each. So this is even. 1, 2. You've got to have 1 more here. That's 3. And the 4. That's 4. So one of these 2 isn't even because it's the 4. One of these 2 is even because there's 3 evens on this quad. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 evens. These are both odd, and they are the 7 and the 9, which is interesting. This is 1 or 3. Okay. So this has to be even then. Even. So we've got 1, 2, 3. We have to have an even in this set of 3. This one has to be odd, which makes this the final even on this quad. So those are 2 and 6, giving us 8 there. These are 2 and 6. This is a 4. Very nice. This is an 8. Therefore, that's not an 8. 4 is up here. This has to be odd. It's a 1, 3, or 5. So this has to be the 5, because remember, wherever we put the odd on here, it had to be the 5. So these are 1 and 3 then, because there's no 1 or 3 here. So these are the 1 and the 3. This is odd. This is a 7 or a 9. So there's a 1 or a 3 up here. Okay, we'll get back to that. So over here, we need to have an 8 and a 7 or a 9. And here, we need to have a 4 and a 5. Very nice. Okay, so there's an even here, an even here. We have an even there. We need 1 more even, but I'm not sure where it goes. Not yet, anyways. Okay. Well, we've got 3 here. We've got 1 more. So one of these is a double odd, basically. And one of them is 1 of each. Let's look over here. So we know in these 2, so this quad, we've got 3 evens. One of them's there. These can't both be even, because then you'd have all 4 of the evens, and there wouldn't be an even up here. So these can't both be even. So this one has to be one of the other evens. So there's an even and an odd here. That's 3 evens. There's 1 even up here, and it can't be at the top because you'd have 3 odds in a row. So that one has to be an odd. One of these is an even. One of those is. One of these is 1, 2, 3. There's one in the middle. Well, similar deal here. We have 1 even in the top set of 3. It can't be at the top because you'd have 3 odds in a row. So this actually has to be odd. So we've got an even here, an even here, and an even here. But I'm not sure where they all go yet. Okay, so where else are we gonna look? 1, 2, 3. We have to, okay, we've got 3 evens in this 5th column. We have to have an even in this top set of 3, so that's the 4th even, making this odd. The final even is in here for this column. So the final even in this box has to be in this domino, which then will be the 4th even for the column. So these are both odd, which means the 4 is in here, meaning that's not 4 for one thing. Also meaning one of those is an even, and the final even has to be down here. The 8 has to be down here, but this is one of each. Is that helpful? Well, this quad here, look, we've got 2, 6, 2. This has to be the 4, because we have to have a 4 somewhere on that quad. And in fact, we said this one is in here, is down here, so this is a 4. So up here we have a 1, 3, and a 2, 6. Okay. All right, we're getting there. We're making good progress. There's an odd, and even here, and an odd and even here. There's one of each in each of these. So they kind of have to be diagonally, basically, because if you could do 2 evens, but you can't do 2 odds there or there because you'd have 3 in a row. So they're gonna have to be diagonally from each other, like that. Even here, 2, 6, 2, 6. There's 1 even and 2 odds down here. Got 1 more even here. So this is the same kind of, this section over here is kind of like this, in that we've got 1 of each, 1 of each, 1 of each. But I'm not entirely sure which ones go, you know, how they're diagonally, or you could have 2 in a row and then a diagonal. There's a few different ways to do it. Well, this is the 4. Look at that, because these are not 4s because of those 4s. So this is 2 or 6, because it can't be 8 either. So we need to have, and the 4, 6, 8, this is 2, because the 6 and 8 have to be down in here because of the quad. So this is not 2, it's 6 or 8. The 8. So this can't be even anymore because look, it's 2, 4, and 6. It can't be, and it can't be 8. So this has to be odd, which makes this the last even for the column. These are 4 and 6. The 8 is in here. The 2 is gonna be in there somewhere. Okay, so do we know? We don't know. I think they've got to be. They could. No, they're obviously diagonal because otherwise you'd have 3 in a row. So it's diagonal evens again. Each. The 6 and the 8. Yeah, okay. So this is not 4, but it could be 2, 6, or 8. 3, 7, 9. There's 5, 5. There's a 5 up here. But I don't know where. It could be in a lot of. Oh no, but we do know where. Look, The 5 quad. This is the 5. Okay. So it's 1, 3, 7, 9. This is, yeah, okay. 5 up here. 4. We know the 1 is up there. So this is not 1 or 5. 3, 7, 9. It's not super helpful. These are 1, 3, 7, and 9. This is one of each. Okay, so where do we want to look next? Do we have anything that we've got like 2 in a row? Anything obvious? Yes, there is something obvious right there. 2 in a row. This has to be the even. That makes it the 8. That's 7 or 9. Very nice. Okay. And so we can have 2 evens in a row here potentially. Well, this has to be even because we've got the 2 odds that we need to break up. So this is 4 and 5. That's odd. This becomes even. 2, 4, 6 can't be the 4. This is 2 or 6. So we've got the 4s, the 2, 6. This is now sees a 2, 6 pair, the 4, and the 8. So this has to be odd. The 8, these can't both be even. So this is one of each. So the 8 is going to be over here. And in the middle box here, where does the 8 go? It can't be up here because of the 8. And the 8 here, so the 8 actually has to be in there. This is not 8. So it's going to be, the 8's going to be down here. But there is another even in here somewhere, so can't say for sure where that goes yet. All right, let's keep going up here. So we've got one of each here, one of each here. Again, we can't do both the evens here because you'd have 3 odds in a row. You got to have one of them at the top. But could you have both of them at the top? I feel like maybe you could. And yeah. 2, 3. So there's an even here. Okay. Yeah. Not sure. All right. Is there any other? There's probably another obvious thing. These puzzles are really hard to scan for the 2 in a row things for some reason. It's not super obvious, especially when you're solving on video. That makes everything harder. I know Mark struggled a little bit with my puzzle that had this same kind of rule set, and it's hard to do, especially when you're on video and you know everybody's looking and yelling, "Why don't you see this?" So let's see, 4, 4. There's a 4. Oh, the 4. Ha. 4, 4. It's just Sudoku. There's a 4 down here, and like the 4 and 4 there. This is a 4. So that is an even, making this an odd to break up the 2 evens. This needs to be even. 2, 6, and 8. This one can't be 8. Actually, this one can't be 8 either. That's 2, 6. Okay, so the 8 is at the top. We've got 4, 2, 6, 2, 6. These have to be both odd. These are one of each. And then you've got, this has to be odd because we've got evens across there. And so then this is one of each, and this is one of each. And this is one of each. We've got all of these kind of like dominoes that are one of each, odd, even. And again, since these are, you got to kind of have the 2 evens diagonally because you got to have 1 in each of these sets of 3. So it's a 2 or a 6 here, and it's an 8 down here. Well, either way, there's another easier way to do it. 2 makes this a 6 and a 2 and a 6, and that 6 makes this an 8. I was going to say where can the 8 go in this row, but it was an easier way to do it. 6, this is a 2 and a 6. And very nice. Now we've got... all right, is there anything... Yes, 2, 4. This is 6 and 2. I was going to say, is there anything with the quads that we still need to do? 1 to 3. We need to have a 6 and an 8 down here somewhere, but we already kind of knew that. There's a 1 up there, but there's a 9 in here. So this is not 9, and it's not a 1 or a 3. Ooh, look at this. 1, 3, 5, 9. This has to be the 7. 9, 7, 9. 7, which puts a 7 up there. But 9, 9. We got a 9 up here. It's 1, 3, 7. The 9 is over there. Very nice. We know there's a 9 down here. 9. So that puts a 9 up there. So this is a 4, 9 pair. This one. 5, 5, 5. Okay, so the 5 in this box can't be in any of these, and it can't be there. So the 5 is here. This is a 5, 8 pair. So the 5 is down here, making that also a 5, 8 pair. So that's kind of interesting. Okay, and then interesting that one of these is a 9. We kind of got 9s going diagonally here. So the 9 has to be down there. But we do have one more odd in here, so we can't say for sure that that's a 9. It might not be. Okay, so we need a 2 in here, right? Yeah, the 2's got to be in here, which means that's a 6. Oh, and also that's 2. Yep. 6, 4, 6. So that makes this the 9 and the 4 and the 9. And so this is therefore odd and even. We got 2 odds making this an even, which I believe is the 8, and this is a 6, by the way, because of that 2 there. And then we've got a 2 somewhere in here. There's a 2 up here. So this is odd, making this even because we need to break up the odds, and then this has to be odd, and it is a 1 or a 3. These are 1, 3, 7, but this one can't be the 7. This is 1, 3, or 7. 2, 3. Okay, we've already got the 8 there, so this is 5 and 8, odd, even. These are 1, 3, and 7. That one's not the 7. These are 1, 3, and 9 somehow. We need a 2 somewhere over here. An 8 in here. What's down here? We need a 2 down here as well, and a 2 here. We're almost there. We're getting to the end. I'm getting there. Slowly but surely. Oh, okay. So where can you put a 1 in this third row? The 1 is up there, so it's not any of these. This is 5, so there's a 1 in here. So this is not a 1. Is that helpful? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. 4, 2, 4, 6, 1, 3, 5. I'm just checking my quads to make sure. I know there's a 6 down here. There's an 8 somewhere in here. Okay, well, this is one of each. This is one of each. The evens are diagonal from each other. This is also one of each. If this is even, then that's even, and that's even. And those 3 are odd. That's okay. If these are even, those 3 are odd, and that also seems like it's okay. So what am I missing? I'm missing something. It might be to do with the numbers. Oh, 7. Look, there's a 7 down here. So that's not a 7. 7 down here, 7 up there, 7s. Where do the 7s go? 7 there. I can't quite say where it goes up here yet. Interesting. I'm probably missing something obvious. I usually am. This is 1, 2, and 3. 5 and 8. This is 1, 2, and 3 also. which is interesting. You know there's a 9 in there. This is 1, 3, or 9. These are 1, 2, 3, and 7. I don't know how helpful that is. This is an 8 and a 1, 3, 7, or 9. Oh no! I'm so close and I'm not quite getting the end. Why am I missing the end? What am I missing? I'm missing something obvious, obviously, clearly. Obviously? Obviously I'm missing something obvious. If these are evens, then that's even. Is that a problem? And then those are odds. You'd have 2 in a row, 2 in a row, 2 in a row there, 2 in a row there. Otherwise, these are even, and that. And again, you'd have 2. Seems okay. Doesn't it? Ah, no, no. Okay, here's the thing. If these are even, right? If these are even, that's even. But that means this is an 8. In this row, we've already got the 2 here. We've got the 4 and the 6. So in this row, we need a 2 and an 8. But the 2 can't be over here. And if that's even, one of these is even. And that's, so if this is, what I'm saying is if these are even, that has to be an 8. But then you've got 8, 6, and 4, and this would have to be odd. But it needs to be even because those are both odd, so there's no 2. This would have to be a 2. So basically this can't be even. So it's odd and even, which therefore means this now has to be even because you got to break up the odds. And this is therefore odd because it's just a 1 or a 3. This is even. This is odd. And that makes this odd and this even, and it's the 8. And this is the 6. There we go. I don't know. Maybe there was a better way to kind of figure that out, but that worked. So there's all of our coloring. Now we just got to fill in the digits. We've got all the evens, I think, now. So we just got to do the odds. So we know there's a 9 here. 1, 3, 1, 3. These are 1, 3, 5, and 9, and the 5 can't be there. So the 5 is down in the corner here. 5, 5, 5 up there. This is 1, 3, 7, 9, but it can't be the 1. So it's 3, 7, or 9. These are 1, 3, 7, and 9. This one can't be. Ah, that can't be 9. That can't be 9. So the 9 is down here. There's got to be something with a quad that we can use, I think. So these. Or maybe we need to color the 1s and 3s? Could be. Okay, so these are the same. But they're up there. We don't know which one, but we know it's this one, and it's got to be up here. Let's go ahead and make those. I'm gonna make them yellow. One of those is the yellow. One of these. These. Is that helpful? I don't know. I don't know. One of those. Ah, so the yellow. Let's look at this. The yellow is here, right? The yellow is also up here because it's not in this bottom row. So those are both in the 8th and 9th column. So this has to be the yellow stripe, which means this is the yellow stripe, which means it's not in here. It's not there. It's got to be this one. Ooh, the yellow stripe, which puts it up there. So it's not any of these. It's got to be that one. and that one. Those are all the same, which means this is not a 9, this is not a 7, because those all have to be the 1 or the 3, which means this is 7, because we've got the 1, 3 here. So this is not 7. This is 7, 3, 1. So those are all, oh shoot, it won't let me. Okay, that's fine. These are all gonna be 1s. There we go. And now we can get rid of the striping. We don't really need that. The 3, the 7, that was what we had to do. We had to color it. 3 and 9, this is not 1, 3, 9, that makes this a 7, and the 9, and the 3, and the 1, and the 3, 3, 3, it's 9, 3, there we go, 9, 3, 9, 3, and the final digit is the 3 there. All right, there we go. Well, that was not too bad. It wasn't too terribly difficult. I kind of took my time to a certain extent. Sometimes because I was just taking my time, sometimes because I was missing things. But fun puzzle, very nice. Thank you to Memerister for making that, and I enjoyed doing another puzzle with the kind of Tango rules, as I'm calling it. It's not really Tango rules, that's just kind of where I came up with it from, but it's a thing that exists otherwise. But the no 3 in a row of odd or even, very cool. So let me know if you tried this puzzle, how it went for you, and if you were just following along with me, which thing I guess you were the most annoyed and screaming at the screen about that I missed. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more.